reflection in the mirror. Why am I doing this to myself? Losing my mind on a tiny error. I nearly left the real me on the shelf. Oh.
Them in the struggle who was stacked on in the bundle. Your current life is out of fumble. That doesn't mean they should sell drugs to be a thug. Every you needs a hug in a home sweet home. Instead we got single mothers hugging a tomb when she should be hugging him in his room. Love has no limits. Many never felt it. That doesn't mean they will never ever find it. Don't quit, don't split. Stay on the main line. Stop doing the crime. Turn to the Most High and you'll be fine.
For the youth them, for the youth them, please don't shoot them. For the youth them, for the youth them, please don't reject them. For the youth them, for the youth them, please don't shoot them. For the youth them, for the youth them, please don't reject them.
I look at my reflection in the mirror. Why am I doing this to myself? Losing my mind on a tiny error. I nearly left the real me on the shelf. Oh.
She got mama problems that got herself harming. All mama do is storm, turning her bright day into a windy place. She caused the innocent to come a cold case, and all she can do is hate. So she take it to the street to get her feet in heat. Now she can't escape to find peace. The gun is the forced resort to find an ease. The papa ain't in the life. The best thing for him to do is to get a knife to slice the aggression in the emotion. Take it on every man as if they're your dad. They think ego, me, myself, and I. Negative, destructive. You need a father to grab hold, not a gun to unload.
For the youth them, for the youth them, please don't shoot them. For the youth them, for the youth them, please don't reject them. For the youth them, for the youth them.
I look at my reflection in
Gore,
the mirror.
the dog butcher. You Them, song that I written and I guess you can say recorded roughly 7-8 years ago. It's about the youth. About the youth there. Youth, take time, add, subtract, multiply, don't divide. You them, we as elders had a responsibility to move the boulders. We failed thee. Our mess becomes your distress. Our vain becomes your pain. Our neglect becomes your conflict. We need to turn that all into love. And the song, it somewhat can relate to this dog propaganda, where we have, dogs destroying youth. They're destroying youth. They're destroying lives. And being a youth, a child, that, let's say 18 years, is probably some of the most sacred, the best times. 18 years of pretty much freedom. Man, I remember, it was for me, man, back in those days, man, it was just freedom. You're just so free to do whatever, man. You just, great times. But, many youth lives are cut short, or they're scarred for life, disfigured for life because of these dogs. And when we put the dog before the children, I'm not on mute. Yeah. So when we put the dog before the children, terrible things happen. Terrible, 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 terrible things happen. So many children, will and have never, from babies to 18, haven't been able to live their youth because of these dogs, because they have been attacked and killed. But like I said in the recent video, nothing has changed. It's all about the dog. All about the dog. And, I wouldn't be, I guess you can say I wouldn't be here where I am if it wasn't for, other adults. A lot of us would not be here if it wasn't for other adults, taking care of us, nurturing us from, a baby, teens, whatever. But when we have adults endangering, babies and children with a dog, with any dog, man, it's not good, man. Again, being a child, 18 years of your life, of full-on freedom, of being carefree in a sense of, not saying just go jump off a bridge or something, but being like a child, being free. You don't have to care about taxes or bills. You can do whatever. But again, a lot of lives have been cut short because of these dogs and these dog nutters, these dog nutter parents who have neglected and have abused and endangered their own children, and not just their children, but children in the neighborhood, in the community as well. Just by you getting a dog, especially a pit bull in the neighborhood, that's not just your problem. It is all the children in the neighborhood's problem. Because so many times dogs have gotten loose and attacked children that were in the neighborhood, in a school, walking home from wherever, in an elevator. We've seen it all. So it doesn't matter if you own the dog in your house. That dog is a problem for everyone. But anyways, Quarter Dog Butcher back again to shine a light on this horrible dog culture. Ask questions, and this is something I'm going to try to say more often. Ask questions. Originally, if you guys are familiar with Dane Calloway, one of his slogans, his phrases, catchphrases is, "I'm just here to make you think." And kind of wanted to do that, but like I don't want to copy. I kind of want to be original. Kind of said, maybe I am just here to make you ask questions, but no, still kind of copying. So I'm being very simple with it. Very simple, 3 words. Ask questions. You dog nutters need to ask questions because you don't. While you're in this dog culture, you don't ask questions, and you don't ask the questions that you should be asking. You don't. And when people bring up topics and stats and etc., you get scared. Because 1, you don't know the answer, and 2, you're insecure, you're ignorant, you're delusional, you're a dog nutter. You don't want to hear facts. You don't want to hear the facts because it's going to pop your deluded, worthless dog nutter bubble. And a lot of you are comfortable being dog nutters because you don't have to ask questions. All you got to do is do. You just do. You listen to a few dog people on YouTube. You use that as validation. See other videos of dogs on social media and use that as validation. Then you make your videos of your dopey ass dog just to get attention, just to be validated, to keep your dog nuttery going. But just please, just ask the questions. Ask the questions. And you don't because you're scared of the answers. As a child, I've always asked questions. I've always wondered things, and I would ask questions But certain time, you kind of just ask you ask questions to myself, but kind of thinking about it. But as you go older, it was 2006. That's when Google and YouTube were at its peak, and that gave me, the chance to ask questions. And YouTube back in 2006 was a different breed. It was a different breed. There was so much good information on YouTube back in 2006. Once upon a time, I said YouTube is like the new TV. YouTube is the education, the new educational TV. Everything was here. But obviously, things have changed. There's a few things there and there. A lot of things that I've heard before, and it's like I'm still hearing the same thing. Again, I don't like hearing the same things over and over. I like to hear new information, new facts about things, because I already know about certain things. But anyways, I grew up in the church, and I always asked questions. I asked a few questions out loud, but to myself, I asked a lot of questions about who is this God guy? Where did so-called black people come from? Where did white people come from? Where did all this take place? What were these people doing? What were these people doing during this time? I would ask so much questions. And 2006 gave me the opportunity, the chance to finally investigate. And I asked the question: is there a God? That's how it all started. Is there a God? And that simple question led to so many, discoveries. So I went from asking about God to learning about Christianity, Islam, history, politics, the truth about sports, the music industry, the movie industry, the future, the present. I've learned so much just by asking one question, and that simple question has been linked to everything that I know now. And to be able to know things, it's to be filled with so much knowledge, it feels so good. I don't know if you dog nutters ever experienced that. When you know a lot of things, it just makes you feel good. I don't want to be ignorant. I like knowing things. I want to be a know-it-all. I want to know everything. Even though in today's day I've kind of slowed down. I've slowed down on certain things. But the information is still within me. I just know so much, and it just feels very good. And again, dog nutters, even anti-dog people, ask the questions. Ask the questions. And one question I want to ask, it pertains back to the Banff bear attack in Canada that killed 2 people and a worthless dog. Yay. So when a dog does something, attacks someone or something, or does something horrific, people will say that's what dogs do. It is not the dog's fault. Don't kill the dog. Dog attacks, not the dog's fault. Don't blame the dog, not the dog's fault. That's what dogs do. That's what they say. That's the protocol of these dog nutters. But why isn't that said regarding wild animals like this bear? After this bear had, killed these 2 people and their worthless dog, there's another video I wanted to show. I forgot about that. But anyways, I asked, why didn't anyone Why don't we say that to these wild animals, to the bear? That's what bears do. You're in the bear's like backyard. You're in the bear's home. You stepped into the bear's home, and the bear, let's say the bear protected itself, attacked you, killed you because you're in its own home, and that bear gets punished? Does that make sense? You're stepping into bear territory. You get attacked, killed. Your worthless dog gets killed. And the bear gets punished. But if this was a dog, an intruder stepped into their worthless house, and the dog attacked that person, we would all be complimenting and praising and worshiping the dog. There'd probably be a little bit of an investigation, and the dog gets to go free, and we all get to go and bow and worship the dog. But with wild animals that do this, when you step into their territory, they get punished. No one says it's what bears do. No one says blame something else other than the bear. We just go and just kill the thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. I don't know why they do that. When a wild animal kills someone or a dog, immediately they are shot and killed. Why? They don't do that for dogs. Most of the time, at least. Dog kills someone, they take it away gently. They don't shoot it most of the time, and they give them the pokey doke, the easy way out. But everything else, any other real animal, is shot immediately. You're in their own territory. You're the ones building homes in their territory. Obviously, there are exceptions. Not gonna get too into that, but come on. How is the bear at fault here? That's what bears do. Isn't it? We gotta ask the questions. I am going to look for another video to demonstrate what I think probably happened in Banff. In the meantime, hopefully... what's it called? There's another song I made. Just bear with me, please. It's totally bad quality, but I think the message is what's important. They need a hand to reach to. We have to reach towards them. Only us are to blame when they fire and aim. If you know what it is, it's the same old thing. And it is true whether you do not do it okay. Please bear with me, please.
Instead of keeping on the line, they take gun and shoot at night. They have lost their eyesight, while parents see and call it alright. They'll man a roof of wrist off the hang from corner, a hunts themselves. Why youth them at home, are hungry for some rice. All they can do now is that what they have to run for a slab of meat. In the cold and in the heat, it's the same old problem, and to see it, and they don't want to solve them. They need a hand to reach to. We have to reach towards them. Only us are to blame when they fire.
I guess I didn't save the video.
Get your education in this recession. Your name doesn't have to be on TV to mention. Let's get a career that will carry you through. There'll be many things that you can do. You will get a few costs and not choose. You have to keep trotting. No one to shake and no one to be nodding. Everywhere you go, people want to see you dropping. You stand firm on every turn. The roads are bumpy, so the path is my concern. I want to teach you so that you can learn. Then you become old to tell the youth what you've been told. They need a
Can't find it.
hand to reach
Thought I saved it, but
we have to reach towards them.
it's all good.
Only us are to blame when they fire and blame. They need a hand to reach to.
Made this back in maybe 2015. 2015. I think on a karaoke mic. I was so ghetto back then. But I think I used Odyssey. Might have been Odyssey.
Let them go and they go too far. Call them small, they turn very little. Call them shit, then they quit. Treat them like a diamond, they shine above the mountain. Yell and they yell back, hug and they hug back. If you understand, they will sit and listen. You become busy, they'll become occupied to give a damn. The youth are the future. Elders, you are the path. Do the math, multiply, understand, get more, lead and guide, so they can become the leaders of tomorrow that you were, as always were, like yesterday, to become what you are today.
Yeah, so I can't find the video, but it was of there are two bears that went on onto some property, and the worthless dog, it was like those nasty, ugly pug dogs, you know, was approaching these two bears, like deliberately approaching these predator bears, barking at them, right, like approaching them. I'm not making this up. The worthless pug dog, the ugly pug dog, you know, was barking and approached these two big bears. And okay, I guess you can say the dog, I guess the dog, you know, I guess scared the bears away. So that's what I think, you know, may have happened. You know how dogs get, you know, they say it's anxiety, but you know how dogs get. They see some strange animal, all of a sudden they want to go and bark at it, run at it. So I think that's what happened. This dog saw the bear, and like a dumb, worthless, stupid dog that it is, it started barking at it, approaching the grizzly bear, and that grizzly bear, you know, I guarantee, probably what happened. The grizzly bear killed the dog, attacked the dog, and the owners, the dog nut owners as they are, instead of fleeing the area or getting out of, I don't know, any kind of weapon, I guarantee they tried to save their worthless mutt. They tried to save their worthless mutt. And in the end, all two of them and their dog were killed by that bear. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what really happened. Because these dogs are just, they're brain dead. And I don't think the dogs really have a prey drive or a survival drive or instincts. I don't think they really have that. Because real animals, seeing something like a bear, would just say, "Hey, I don't want no trouble," and they would flee. But dogs, they do this to all these predators. There's also a video. I think I've shown it once on the channel. A tiger is sleeping. The dog is approaching. The dog sees the tiger. Instead of the dog running away, the dog stops, barks at the tiger, waking the tiger up, causing the dog to be attacked and eaten. You cannot tell me dogs have some kind of instincts or whatever. That's bullshit. I think it's bullshit. I think dogs are just naturally just stupid. Naturally stupid. But the only people that dogs can actually fool are dog nutters. So that's, I guess, some smarts in them, I guess, maybe. Ask questions. Another question that I want to ask. I don't know the answer. Why aren't shelters blamed for dog attacks? Let's say a dog is, let's say a dog is, I don't know, let's say a dog is found. Let's say a dog is found. Let's say a pit bull. A pit bull is found, and by the shelter, whoever, and the shelter looks after the pit bull, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, we don't know what these volunteers or these workers are doing. And I'm guessing a lot of these dogs see multiple different, workers or volunteers, and each of them does something different. Behind closed doors, we don't know what is happening. We don't know if any of these dog nut shelters are abusing them or training them to do something or telling these dogs to do something that is dangerous. We don't know. And these dog nut shelters, they're not going to say that. Why would they say that? They're not. Because they got to protect themselves, and their main purpose is to sell dogs. That's their main purpose, is to sell dogs. It wouldn't make sense for them to spill the beans on themselves to try selling dogs. It doesn't make sense. But anyways, they sell a dog to a naive, ignorant dog nutter. And they take the dog in for a couple days, and the dog is attacking. The dog is acting up, acting weird, acting aggressive, violent, and they return the dog. And social media is gonna, find out somehow, and people are going to attack and no. Dog nuts are going to attack and bash the former owners of the dog for returning the dog. They're going to bash them and say, "You're a bad trainer, bad owner, you're horrible." But what if there is something? But just what if there is something that these shelters or kennels or whatever you want to call them, that they're doing to these dogs? We don't know what. What if it's something? And no one is blaming these shelters. The shelters get away with a lot. Even though they lie and they create these bogus ads, they lie. But these naive dog nuts, they take these things to their home. Sometimes they're killed by the dog they adopted or they bought. The dog is attacking, being aggressive, and they return it back to the shelter. And people are going to blame, they're going to blame the owner for it. I think there's something that these shelters are doing to these dogs. And again, there are a lot of workers. I'm guessing there are a lot of workers, different workers that work with these worthless mutts. And these dogs have to get used to various people throughout the day. They gotta, like they say, these dogs have to be socialized. They gotta be socialized with so many people. And a lot of people, I remember a lot of dog nutters are just inconsiderate. They're rude. They abuse dogs. They have no knowledge. They can't control dogs. So here we have the shelter with who knows how many people that socialize with the dog. I'm quoting. Selling a dog to an ignorant person, and the dog isn't obeying them. The dog is trying to attack them, being aggressive towards them. And again, the question is, why aren't shelters being blamed for dog attacks, for aggressive dogs? Why aren't shelters being looked at, being observed? Why aren't they? You're gonna say, oh, they do have inspections. So what? The inspection what, lasts for a day or two? Then once the inspector is gone, these dog nuts, they change their ways and they go back to their old self again. It's just like these worthless mutts. Especially pit bulls, before they attack, they look like they won't attack. The next thing you know, they attack. As soon as you turn your back, they attack. So you can't trust these dog nuts because they have inspections. That means nothing. The dog isn't going to tell the inspector that these dog nuts are abusing it. That they're teaching the dogs aren't going to tell the inspector, hey, these dog nuts are teaching me something that I shouldn't. It's not going to happen. And what's going to happen? The dogs are just going to sit there looking worthless as ever, and the inspector is going to think, hey, since this dog is sitting there doing absolutely nothing, this dog is sweet. This dog is friendly. Dogs in a cage not attacking people, they're going to say this dog is sweet and friendly. Again, I ask the question is, why aren't shelters being blamed for dog attacks, for aggressive dogs? Why aren't they being more observed? Why is it always only the owner? I'm not trying to save the owner. If you're a dog nut owner, you're a dog nut. But why is it always the owner? A lot of these dogs spend years in these shelters. Don't you think these shelters may be teaching or not teaching these dogs certain behaviors? But then when the owner, messes up or returns the dog, everyone wants to attack and bash the owner. The shelter says this pit bull isn't a pit bull, it's a Labrador retriever. They'll say it's a poodle. They can lie about their history. Some cities or states, they don't have to release the history about dogs. Some cities do not have to release the history about dogs. I've shown that once. It's about money. It's about worshiping these dogs. And a lot of these shelters, they don't care. They do not care who gets mauled in the process. They don't care if your baby gets mauled by a newly adopted dog. They don't care. Their job is to make money. Their job is to cause chaos. And they know, these shelters, these kennels, they know they're not going to get the blame because these dog nutters, dog lovers, dog owners, they have been brainwashed and conditioned. They have been brainwashed and conditioned to repeat the same rhetoric over and over again. And that is always blame the owner. Blame the owner. They're taught this early. To blame the owner. But when sometimes we should be looking at these shelters and thinking and asking questions and observing, what are these shelters doing to these worthless mutts? Again, ask the question or questions. And sometimes I don't have all the answers, but I'm always looking into things. Always learning. Always wanting to learn and to know. Last thing I want to talk about. It's not based on experience, but again, as a anti-dog person, I want to attack this dog culture from every angle, every inch, from top to bottom, left to right, middle, everywhere. And that's about food delivery services. And I've come to realize that between, I guess, the top three, at least the top three, Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, they do not have an anti-dog policy for food. I cannot spell. I just realized that I cannot spell delivery. Cannot spell. Just realized that. But anyways, they can't. That's funny. Yeah, there's no anti-dog policy for food delivery drivers. So, technically, if you own a dog, the dog could walk its nasty ass, its dander, its slobber all over the car, all over your body, the steering wheel, and your food that's going in your mouth, whether it's in a few bags or not, or in the trunk or not, doesn't matter. That dog is still in still in the vehicle, or was in the vehicle, rides in the vehicle. So your food is in the same vehicle, as the dog. And some of these DoorDash drivers or Skip the Dishes drivers, delivery food drivers, I haven't seen it personally, but I know it happens. A lot of them carry their dogs with them on food runs. I'm not making this up. You can look on YouTube. A lot of delivery drivers carry their dogs with them on food runs. And there is no anti-dog policy. I looked it up. None for Uber Eats, none for Skip the Dishes, none for DoorDash. None. Me personally, I don't do delivery. 2 things, too expensive, and 3, to avoid dogs. I just pick up my stuff and that's good enough. Can you DoorDash with your dog in the car? When you head out for a long DoorDash shift, you notice your dog is silently pleading with you to leave him or to not leave it or it alone. You might be tempted to bring your worthless mutt along the day, even if your dog enjoys riding in the car, is well behaved. It's important to consider whether it's a good idea to have a dog with you while delivering DoorDash. And good idea. Again, these dog nuts, they don't think. They don't care about other people. They're not considerate. They don't care. It's all about the dog. They don't care. So talking about good idea and saying consider, it's not part of their vocabulary. It isn't. And they say, can you DoorDash with your dog in the car? There is no specific DoorDash rule regarding bringing a pet along with you in the car while you are delivering. This is considered a gray area, so it's important to use your best judgment to make the best personal decisions for you and your worthless mutt. So, like I said, there is no specific rule. They add what to do. What do I need to know before bringing my worthless mutt with me to DoorDash? You know your dog best. You know if they're good in the car and well behaved enough to stay in their own place. Well, it doesn't matter. As soon as that dog is in the car or was in the car, that car is now destroyed, basically. Destroyed. Whether or not you put the food in the trunk or not, your whole car is covered, basically covered in dog germs, dog bacteria. You grope your dog. You don't wash your hands. You touch the steering wheel. You touch the steering wheel. You touch the steering wheel with your bare hands. Then you touch the food. Then you put it in the bag. Then it's cross contamination. So it doesn't matter if your dog's well behaved or not. Can you trust your dog around food? Come on, dogs and food? You trust your dog around food? Trust dogs around food, people. Is your dog clean and a minimal shedder? It doesn't matter. Dogs are disgusting. Doesn't matter. Even if it's a speck, minimal, clean, minimal. It's not no shedding, minimal. As soon as a speck is in your car is done. And look at this. Needs to be a service dog. Okay, it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna let it go. But this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh my god. Bear with me, please. I keep saying I'm gonna get a new computer. Still have not done it yet, but soon. And on Indeed, can drivers have their dogs in the car while delivering? DoorDash has no such rule. You can take your dog if you want to. No, unfortunately, it's kind of ridiculous, and this guy gets 4 downvotes. No, it's against the term of service. It's not, but I wish it was. You can, but customers will complain. I'm complaining. I wouldn't keep my dog in the car while door dashing simply for the risk of allergens and food contamination. But if your dog is even in the car, even before or after you are doing DoorDash, you're done. Maybe get maybe you have a second car which is like dog free. Maybe I'd let that go, but that's rare. That's rare. I'm talking 100% dog free, where the dog hasn't even touched that car on the outside. When the dog touches that car, outside or in, that car's done. Sebesnol, however, does not prohibit passengers or worthless mutts from accompanying drivers. It's all about dogs, eh? Get ready to drive. Please leave outside and don't ring doorbell. We have a very annoying dog. Thank you. And I also looked up at least DoorDash. They don't have like any anti-dog policy for delivery drivers. I'm talking about delivery personnel, going door to door, how to deal with dogs. They don't even have that. There's no protocol for that. There's none. This is skip the dishes. And I use Swift F3 and I type the word dog. You get nothing. I'll even type the word animal. You get nothing as well. I'll type the word pet. You get nothing about pets, nothing about animals, nothing about dogs. And I don't even think Skip the Dishes has an a safety protocol for their delivery people. Uber Eats driver had their dog with them. Today I had food delivered by an Uber Eats, and as they were driving away, a dog in the back seat started barking at me. For what reason? Oh God. The driver also pulled the food out of the back seat, and my gut feeling on this is it's probably unsanitary and a risk for those with dog allergies. But again, these dog nuts, they just don't care if you're allergic. They don't care if you're scared. They don't care if you've been attacked. They don't care if you've been killed by a dog. They don't care. Would I be an a-hole if I reported this to Uber? Who cares? I mean, these dog nuts allow their dogs to kill people. They allow your dogs to kill people. So this is like nothing. Like, this is nothing compared to what they do. My partner agreed that it's unsanitary, but said I shouldn't report them to Uber for it. Again, it's all about the dog, but it's all about the dog. If there was like a homeless, sketchy person sitting in the back, they'd probably report it. To me, it seems like if I don't, at least Uber know about it, the driver could be putting people at risk. And this person says, not against the rule. Clearly, the dog is a service animal that is trained to bark at a-holes. You're being too sensitive about this. What if the dog was a service animal? Who cares? It doesn't even matter if it's a service animal. They're nasty. I mean, just because you're a service sorry. Just because you're a service dog doesn't mean you're immune to spreading your nasty dog germs. It doesn't mean that. And they're saying you're paranoid. I would not use third-party food. At least there's one person that's saying, if you're paying, so a lot of them are just again, this is clearly a dog nut. Uber food is packed by restaurant driver. Never touch the food except the bags if it should be safe. So this person is saying, as long as your food is wrapped. So let's say your food is wrapped. Can someone, I'm sorry, but can someone wipe their ass on the package, on the bag, and then just hand it to you? Like, you can easily say, the food wasn't touched by my ass because it was in a bag. And they say dog saliva is safer than unwashed hands when you go to the toilet. Oh man, you cannot make this up, people. You cannot. Pets and delivery vehicle. Just saw a guy in the same parking area as me with his dog in the car with him. He's clearly a delivery driver. I could hear the familiar sound of annoying dog bark. Then I heard UE chime. I actually looked at my phone. He puts the car in drive and takes off. Although it's possible I didn't see any signs of this being a service dog, and it doesn't matter. Kind of confused and kind of grossed out. This is dog nut, and this again, sealed bag. Some people are sketchy at night. Sometimes have work. Yada yada yada. Dog in front, food in back, sealed. Again, it doesn't matter. And like I said, as long as that dog has been in that car, dog germs, dog bacteria is all over it. It doesn't matter. And these people are just nasty. They're just nasty people. Disgusting, man. I think if there's a God or creator, I thank this God creator for making me like a germaphobe, OCD, paranoid. It's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to be OCD. That's why I respect people who are OCD, because they're neat, they're organized. Most of them are clean. But dog nutters, you can't be OCD and be a dog nutter. It doesn't make sense. You cannot be OCD and be a dog. If someone is OCD and is a dog nutter, that is incorrect. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You can't be a germaphobe and be a dog lover. It doesn't make sense. Can I bring my dog with me when doing Uber Eats? There should be fine. Some restaurants may not be pet friendly. This person again, dog nutter. I don't know. Some customers will show up at your car to collect their food. They might not like seeing your dog. I would not. Yep. I guess you guys get the point. There's no anti-dog policy with these delivery service people, and there's not even like a safety protocol for the delivery drivers either. There's none, and it's going to be a matter of time. A matter of time until a delivery driver is attacked and killed by a dog. Matter of time. So one more thing I wanted to look at. DoorDash dog bite lawyers. Chicago attorney fights for DoorDash drivers who suffer dog bites. And again, DoorDash, skip the dishes. They don't have an anti-dog policy, and they should. Dog bites common for delivery drivers. Approximately 69 million households have at least one dog. Many dogs I don't care about them being friendly. Over 5,000 postal workers experienced a dog attack. Overall, Illinois ranks lower than many states for dog bite injuries recorded each year. Chicago, however, on the USPS list of most dangerous. Okay, they didn't really answer the question. DoorDash driver dog bite injuries. Types of injuries, statistics, damage to skin. Yeah, okay, we know this. About 48 people died of dog bite injuries in the U.S. in 2009. However, numbered in the hundreds of thousands. Okay, they're not answering the question though. They're not answering the question. They're not showing the stats and data for delivery drivers who have been attacked by dogs. It's empty. It's pretty much empty. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to look more into this delivery, anti-dog delivery driver stuff, DoorDash, skip the dishes, Uber Eats, etc. And it's, alarming that none of them have some anti-dog policy. None of them have an anti-dog policy. So your dog could be in the car and it can slobber, shit in the car, piss in the car, And it's okay to put your food in the car. I don't care if the food is in the trunk. Your dog has only been in the front. It's a service dog. I don't care. As soon as a dog even touches the outside of that car, your car is basically defiled, in my opinion. It's just disgusting. But anyways, ask the questions, man. You just gotta ask the questions. If it's not questions, just ask a question regarding these worthless mutts and these deranged dog nut owners. Man, if they can just ask questions instead of just being impulsive and doing and obeying their dog nut culture, I think things could be better. I think there'd be less dogs. But a lot of these dog nuts, they don't do that. They don't ask questions. They just do. They just obey and do. And even when, people are attacked and killed by dogs, they don't ask the questions. Instead, they want to protect and they're worthless. The only question that they'll ask after a dog attacks someone is the dog okay? That's pretty much it. That's all they'll ask, because the dog is all they care about. But anyways, this is another Worthless Mutts. I am Gore the Dog Butcher, and remember, it's okay to hate dogs.